Hey guys, it's Bonnie. Today I am here to film my BookTube-A-Thon wrap-up. I can't believe the BookTube-A-Thon is already over. It feels like it just started yesterday, but here we are. I can't believe the BookTube-A-Thon is already over. It feels like it started just yesterday, but here we are at the end. For the most part, I stuck to my TBR. I completed all of the reading challenges, and so I had a very successful BookTube-A-Thon. I didn't do any of the video challenges or the Instagram challenges, but I wasn't really planning to. I really just wanted to stick on reading because I have not been reading a lot this summer, and so I wanted to get a ton done during the BookTube-A-Thon, and I did, and I'm really happy about it. It wasn't the easiest week, which you would know if you watched my BookTube-A-Thon vlog, but I still had fun, and I'm still, like I said, really happy with the reading I've done. So now, let me actually talk about it. The first book that I read for the BookTube-A-Thon was Said the Shotgun to the Head by Saul Williams. This is a poem and it touches on so many different things, but it's focused around a kiss, as it says in the author's note before you read it, and this relationship. But he talks about so much more in this than, love. He talks about war and politics and social justice, kind of things like that, and it was amazing. I give this book 5 stars. And I used this book to complete the challenge, read a book in one day, and I obviously read this in one sitting because it was really short, and yeah, absolutely recommend this one. Next, I read The Smell of Other People's Houses by Bonnie Sue Hitchcock. This was, again, another amazing book. This one really took me by surprise because it was the one that I'm using for the challenge, read a book that you only bought for the cover. And this was a complete cover buy. I didn't know anything about it going into it. And even after I knew the premise, I wasn't that intrigued. So the fact that I came out absolutely loving it was just mind-blowing to me. I also used this for challenge number 5, which is to read a book outside. But because of my medical condition, I cannot do that. So I did not read a book outside. I instead read a book that has the outdoors on its cover, which this so beautifully does. And like I said, I really loved this. I give it 5 stars. It's just a very simple story about people in Alaska that are just living their lives and how life gets interconnected in ways that you may not see, and it's so beautiful. I highly recommend it. Next, I read None of the Above by I.W. Gregorio, which is a book about a young girl in high school who finds out that she is intersex. I obviously read this for the challenge, read about a character that is very different from you. I've never read about an intersex character before, so this was really informal, and I thought it was just great for that purpose. On the story side, it did feel pretty generic when it comes to YA contemporaries, so I did only give this one a 3 out of 5 stars, but if you've never read about an intersex character before, I would definitely recommend this one because I thought it was great on that aspect. But the story itself was just a little generic and it ended pretty abruptly, so it would have been nice to have just a little more and maybe not so the way that things played out. I wasn't entirely in love with everything, but it was still a good read and it was really fast to fly through. Next, I listened to Unfiltered by Lily Collins, which is just her memoir book, whatever. I gave this one 3.5 stars as a rating, but in my heart it's kind of more of a 4, but critically it's more of a 3, so I just kind of went in the middle there. I really enjoyed listening to this book. I absolutely love Lily Collins, and I love the way that we just get to listen to her reading about different things of her life. It was a little cheesy and generic at times, which is why critically I'd put it down a little more. She basically would start off each chapter with some kind of quote, kind of like, I remember one was, "We accept the love we think we deserve," and then she'll go into a story based on that quote, about her life. So on that aspect, the way that she opened up was kind of in a generic way, not as unfiltered and oh my god, what's she gonna say, the book's premise kind of puts out there, I suppose. But I still really enjoyed it. I really love Lily Collins, and I liked that she touched on some important topics, like talking about her eating disorder and talking about abusive relationships and the way that she talks about everything. She always talked about things in a sense of growth rather than looking at things negatively. She talked about them in a positive, growing way. And I used this book for the Read a Book with a Person on the Cover challenge. Next, I read Illuminate by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. This is a sci-fi space story, which I'm sure you've all heard about. It's told in a really unique perspective with these files, and it's the most beautiful cover ever. I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed the last half of it more than anything else. The first half, while it was enjoyable, it wasn't amazing, and the story as a whole was kind of not generic, but it used a lot of plot devices that sci-fi uses. Whether it be, I haven't read a lot of sci-fi books, but you know, sci-fi movies, sci-fi TV shows. If you look past the way this story is told with the files, it is kind of more of a generic plot with a lot of sci-fi cliches. However, the way it was told was really cool, and I did really love the characters in this, despite only getting them on a surface level, since we're never actually in their minds, we're just reading files. Sorry if the angle is different, my camera decided to stop recording in the middle of that clip, so that's fun. As I was saying, I really enjoyed Illuminate, and I'll definitely be picking up the sequels in the future. The last challenge that I had to complete was just the Read 7 Books challenge, and while I did have Prince Caspian, the 4th, I believe, Narnia book on my TBR, I decided not to read it because I just wasn't in the mood. So instead, I reread Saga Volume 6 and read Saga Volume 7 for the first time. This, like I said, is a reread. I feel the same way as I did the last time about it. Still 4.5, still a great segment in this, or volume in this saga. This volume in this saga, really. Still a great volume in this series. I also really love Saga Volume 7. Not quite as much as the previous, but I kind of always love the volumes in Saga. I don't think I'll ever not love one. This was a very emotional volume. Out of all the others, I think this is probably the most emotional one, the most focused on the characters. And for that, I gave it 4 stars because it really hit me emotionally. But it didn't really drive the plot any other way. I feel like it didn't really push us any closer to the end of this story. And I don't really know where the end of the story is going, but this almost felt more like a filler volume, except for all the emotional stuff. Still 4 stars, still loved it, but not as story plot-wise impactful as the other volumes. So yeah, these are all the books that I read for the BookTube-A-Thon this week. I'm really happy. I got all the reading challenges done, and I just read a lot, which is what I wanted to do more than anything else. I didn't do video challenges or Instagram challenges, but I wasn't really focused on those this week. If you participated in the BookTube-A-Thon, let me know how your week was down below. Let me know what you read, what you loved that you read, or what you didn't love, or if we read any of the same books. I would love to know. I'm happy to say that I at least liked every single book I read, so I would definitely consider that a success as well. But anyway, I hope you had a great BookTube-A-Thon if you participated. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.